Hey, Inanime here, and episode 8 was heartbreaking. Why? Because it was a recap episode. We want questions answered and more action. But it can't be helped because of the studio's production schedule. However, what can be helped is that I wanted to do a little analysis of the sidekicks to our female heroines after I had made some observations after their introduction. So, if you're ready, pull up a chair and let's discuss.
Their power is overwhelmed and destroyed. The world's most shocking monster.
First, let's talk about Ai's Pomander. Hers is a chameleon. On the one hand, we know that chameleons can move each of their eyes independently, and Ai has eyes that are independent of each other. They're different colors. The deeper symbolism here is how chameleons also have the ability to camouflage themselves, and Ai does the same thing. She covers one of her eyes with her hair to camouflage her heterochromia, but even more so, she stopped going to school and became a homebody, meaning she was camouflaging herself from the rest of the world. Now, chameleons have a deeper meaning when it comes to the spiritual and dream realms. Chameleons represent change and adaptation. A lot is going on in Ai's world, and gradually she has been changing her life in terms of making friends and going back to school. However, chameleons aren't always good omens. They also indicate that you might have someone in your life who may or may not appear as they are. Mr. Sawaki. Excuse me. Second, Rika and her Pomander. She is a cute little turtle. The turtle is fitting for Rika because turtles have a strong outer shell, and that's what Rika has. When she meets people, she's always very bubbly and outgoing and puts on a facade. But her shell protects the dark secrets that she has, not knowing her father, the broken relationship she has with her mother, and of course her self-cutting. At the spiritual level, turtles represent longevity, and they find a way to move forward and live through heavy times. They aid you in letting loose of the bad memories and cleansing your soul. This fits Rika perfectly because arguably she carries the most baggage out of the girls and has a lot of cleansing that needs to be done at the spiritual level. Now, we have to discuss the two that are a little harder to analyze. First, Momo and her crocodile. Crocodiles are symbols of protection and wisdom, and ironically, Momo is the character that we know the least about. But a crocodile is very fitting for Momo because they also represent individuality. Momo deals with identity issues, through no real fault of her own, because she has that outward appearance of a boy, and girls constantly fall for her, as she struggles with dealing with that. But she is fierce and fearless, other qualities of a crocodile. One thing I do find pretty interesting though, is that crocodiles do symbolize wisdom, but they are also seen as protectors and keepers of knowledge. It makes me wonder, and I have made a theory about this, but I wonder if she does hold some knowledge about Mr. Sawaki, because he's her uncle, that she isn't telling the other girls. Now we get to Niru. She definitely is the hardest one to analyze because she is as mysterious as the snake Pomander that she is mother to. Snakes symbolize many different things in different cultures. On the one hand, they can be a good omen and represent rebirth and healing, while on the other hand, they are seen as evil and deceivers. Both can apply to Niru. Let's start with the good. Niru has a white snake, and white snakes represent healing and good energy. Niru suffered a traumatic stabbing at the hands of her sister and has been rehabilitating ever since. So the healing and Niru go hand in hand. But the snake representing deception is intriguing because we don't know why the sister stabbed her. If it was because of something bad that Niru did, it makes me wonder if we need to keep an eye on her when it comes to Ai, Momo, and Rika. Will there be a situation where she turns her back on them or she tempts them in some way for her own self-interest? We don't know the full extent of the relationship between her and her sister other than the stabbing, but arguably she has the strongest connection compared to the other heroes with their suicide victims that they are trying to save. So how far will she go to save her sister? Well, this gives us a lot to think about on how the girls will associate and partner with their Pomander creatures. I haven't even touched on the fact that these creatures live off of a diet of haters, and a diet full of that kind of negative energy can't be good. At least to me. I kind of think that maybe in the future there might be some situation where these creatures get corrupted and they're gonna turn on the girls. But we'll see if that happens later. But another little fun fact that I'm sure a number of you noticed and others didn't, but the Pomander creatures are all amphibians, which means they come from apes. Ha! It all comes full circle. But Let me know your ideas about the creatures and my cracking voice, and anything else that's going on with the series and what you thought about the recap episode. Let me know in the comments below and hit that like button. Anyway, I'm an anime, and I'm out. Anime.